A Flirting Guide. Chapter 1. Flirting Guide 1. Body Language Guide. Your Face, My Thane, is a book where men may read strange matters. Lady Macbeth. I generally don't buy into all the convoluted psychobabble out there about body language. If you want a book about it, go to hashtag 155-158 at the library. In general, if a person's body is open and outstretched and they're smiling, they like you. If their arms are crossed, hunched into themselves, purposely looking away, avoiding eye contact, they don't like you, they're being defensive. Take it all with a grain of salt because it's an inexact art, not a science. People don't always say what they mean. Body language can give you clues, but it's not a science. It's just general ideas. You get knowledge about intentions by feeling a person, how close they get to you versus how much distance they keep, tone of voice, how much warmth you feel coming from them, how sincere they seem as opposed to putting on a fake image, how much you like them at first blush and how much you feel they like you. Ask yourself, how open or closed off do you sense this person is? When people are more animated and expressive than usual, it means they like who they're with. People who dress neatly are usually orderly, well-behaved, polite people. People who don't make eye contact might not necessarily not like you. It could be that they have their own depression and problems they're dealing with. Body language in sex and love. Your body mannerisms in general dictate who you are sexually. Are you smooth and graceful or nervous and jerky? The standing straight posture, chest jutting out, hand on hip or thumb looped in the belt, index finger pointing at crotch area is a sexy stance, along with the more casual one where you're leaning against something, legs crossed, smiling, looking directly at your lover. Girls trying to be subtly sexy cross their legs. Unsexy girls don't, but sexiest of all is the girl who spreads her legs wide open while she sits there and smiles at you. It's very simple. The open, relaxed stance signals sexual interest. The defensive, closed stance signals not interested. Any touchy-feely motions indicate sexual interest, like light touches, accidental brushes against her body, getting close to her physically. Eye contact longer than usual and smiling are the greatest signals of interest. Play with the lip of the cup you're drinking out of with your lips and tongue. If it's a wine glass, stoke the stem with your fingers. Put your head to one side, acting innocent and playful. Playing with her hair or rubbing a locket means she loves you and she's being affectionate to her jewelry to show it. Raising the eyebrows quickly in surprise means attraction. Smacking the lips shows attraction. When anybody straightens up suddenly, it means they're attracted and trying to look good and noble. Women and men jut their chests out when they're attracted to somebody. You have an invisible personal space barrier of about 18 inches. If somebody talking to you gets that close, like if they laugh and get close to you, it means they like you. People like to get close to look into people's eyes they're attracted to. Any hip or body movement towards you is attraction. Body openness is attraction. Open legs or crossed legs in a sexy way or slash and with shoe dangling means attraction. The closer somebody gets to you, the more attracted they are. Unattraction is looking away, looking everywhere but at you, general restlessness, fidgety, like they want to get out of there, arms crossed, legs crossed, looking at the exit, roving eyes. The most important part of body language is eye contact. Make it middle of the road, not too long but long enough to show interest. Show friendliness but nothing phony or anything sleazy. Smile, then nod subtly as a gesture that you're interested in pursuing this action more. A quick wink or a nod might be fine on the second mutual look. Don't dart around or look away quickly when someone looks at you, it either gives the impression of sneakiness or insecurity. Look for 3 seconds then look away. And don't dart around to the chest or the privates until you're talking to her. Keep it focused on the facial area, showing that person that you're a person with at least some amount of dignity. It's weird when someone's checking you out for some unknown reason locked away behind those eyes. It might be sexual or romantic or a bit of both. It could be flattering but could be cheap for someone to be doing this while they know you're watching them do it. If you're out in public doing your business and you notice someone smiling at you, that's always your cue that you're pretty well in if you decide to follow it up. A firm posture indicates interest while slumped over shows boredom. When men see a prospect, they automatically jut their chests out and hold their stomachs in. Flirting can be as simple as just standing close to the person you're interested in. And, of course, there's verbal chop suey flirting, two people engaged in a double entendre, innuendo-filled conversation smiling at each other that could be perceived as harmless fun or a come-on depending on where the participants want to take it. The woman lets you know by her body language mannerisms what you can do and how far you can go. You just have to follow her and let the natural flow take its course. It's that simple. The woman lets you know emotionally when she's ready and you just go along with it. Don't push it. Let her be the queen, the object of your desire, but the woman has to do her part too. Try some practiced openness by displaying the right body language and keeping your mannerism open and receptive. This essentially means don't cross your arms and sit all bunched into yourself. Be open and relaxed, spread those limbs. Appear easygoing. Have an open, relaxed face. For sexy body language, look through posed pictures of nudes in magazines and on the internet and learn to imitate those sexy poses. If somebody touches their necklace or rubs their bracelet while talking to you, it means they like you. If a woman preens in front of you or does her makeup, it means she's attracted to you. Anyone who runs their fingers through their hair is usually demonstrating attraction to another person. Signs of attraction. You know if the girl or guy likes you if they smile and make eye contact. Make compliments. Feels giddy and lightheaded around you. Tries to agree with you, finds common ground. Talks about things you can do sometime in the future. Body language is open and directed for you to see her body parts. Tries to keep the conversation. Rubs her necklace. Mirrors your actions. Laughs with you. Plays with her hair. Touches her face while looking at you. Dangles her shoe off her foot. Touches her breasts. The pupils in her eyes dilate, get bigger than normal. Feel like you're both in a kind of romantic haze. Light, subtle or direct touches. Licks her lips. Juts her breasts out. Her face gets reddish, flushed with blood. Seems interested in you. Asks you questions geared around a serious relationship. Seems upbeat, in a good mood. Looks down to your genital area. Smooths her skirt or pants. Gives you a horny, hungry look. Signs of dislike. Some signs the date is going badly are. Says she has to get up early. Constantly talks on her cell phone or texts. Asks you what time it is. Looks away from you. Moves her body away from you. Doesn't talk to you. Doesn't want an alcoholic drink. Crosses her arms. Is past trying to be sexy. Says she wants to go home right now. Leans way back to put distance between you. Sneers at you. Shows disgust at you. Voice is empty of emotion. Cut your losses. Take her home, don't get out of your car. Just say, see you around babe while looking straight ahead. Flirting Foundation Guide. The basis of flirting is that most of it is done before a word is ever spoken. We size each other up based on look, beauty, youth, slimness, what sense of inspiration or misery do you give off about yourself. This is built into all of us. We intuitively know right away if we're attracted to someone or not, and they know if they're attracted to us. To me, there are 3 basic levels. I like him/her. Not bad, I'll see what happens. No. Flirting is quick since you're dealing with a stranger who is probably on the move, going somewhere. Start with the approach. If you like somebody, you have to get close to them to see what kind of body language they put out at you. If they get closer, more open and smile, you're at first base. If the person backs off and looks away quickly, Don't waste your time. You then talk about something superficial like the weather just to see if they'll answer back and with how much enthusiasm/detail. Talking can escalate up to deep, personal concepts in anywhere from minutes to months. Touching the other in a light, fleeting way is a positive sign of interest. When you look at someone for the first time, if you're intuitively attracted to them, which is an involuntary action, you can't help it. What will happen is that you will go wide-eyed, stare right at them, your pupils will widen, you will move your body to face them head-on, you may blink rapidly a few times and there will be what is called an eyebrow flash, your eyebrows will rise and fall quickly. At this point, most people catch themselves and realize they are giving away their trump card, so to speak, showing their attraction for someone. But this is good since we're generally so buttoned up as a society that we never know when someone is attracted to us. From this point on, either one or the other has to make a move in order for it to continue. Just because someone is initially attracted to you like this does not mean that they will always be attracted to you. If you don't nourish this attraction, it will go. I've seen it with myself. Initial, primal attraction is not enough. People have to be respected and be given love and attention. It's that simple. There is a look that biologists call the copulatory look, shared universally by human women as well as with primates in the animal kingdom. It can be described as follows. First, the woman smiles at her admirer and lifts her eyebrows in swift, jerky motion as she opens her eyes wide to gaze at him. Then she drops her eyelids, tilts her head down and to the side and looks away. Frequently, she also covers her face with her hands, giggling nervously as she retreats behind her palms. Irenas E. Bluebesfeld, Ethology, The Biology of Behavior, 1970. Flirting is subtle dancing. You make one move, you open it up for the other person to respond. If he or she does, you make another move, raise the stakes towards a real encounter, and it goes from there, one step at a time. Flirting is the things we do when in the presence of someone with whom we take a personal interest in to attract them and send attention our way. It may be sexual or it may be just for fun to add spice to our lives and make us feel good and a little special for a while. We may do it to check someone out to see if they're interested in us, or we may do it just for fun, kind of like for both our egos, to make us both feel good and help the day pass better. It's done at a combination of both a subconscious and conscious level depending how aware we are of what's going on. A lot of married people flirt to help them feel sexy. On a subconscious level, people betray themselves with their subtle gestures such as eye contact longer than 3 seconds, eyes widening like in the comics when they see someone they're attracted to, the pupils dilating, gazing behaviors, subtle nods, mouth slightly open, etc. On a conscious level, it can be almost anything that gives attention to another, like prolonged, deliberate eye contact longer than 3 seconds, which is considered either rude or a sign of attraction in our society. Subtle glances, looks, and smiles. Just looking at someone is probably the biggest sign of flirting. The game of flirting, and it is a game if you were to ever watch people at social functions or watch primates at the zoo do it, is eye contact, attention, serving the ball so to speak, then the return lob. Either your attention is returned positively or it's ignored or returned negatively with a scowl. After this, you serve again and keep serving, a little more daring every time to see where it goes. We all know the come on look when we see it and know when someone is purposely rejecting us. I've experienced both, and every time I knew. There was no need for words. We both knew each other's intentions. I've seen the courting dance analyzed rather extensively by both Desmond Morris through his several books and Helen Fisher, Anatomy of Love. This is the game. Everybody knows it. Maybe we're partially born with it, maybe we learn it, but we all know it. It just is. There's a finesse aspect to it. Even if somebody likes you, if you come on too strong, they will be scared off or simply be made uncomfortable by your aggression. A good lover bounces back the cues he gets. He simply goes as far as his object of affection wants him to. And how does he know? It's easy. She's constantly giving him cues about what she wants him to do, whether she wants more or whether you should keep it cool from here on in for today. In a funny twist of the mating game, women not men initiate most romantic encounters by giving men silent come-on signals, after which it's up to the men to either make the next move or keep moving. No man wants to be rejected, so if they see someone they like, they might look but wait silently in the background until they get some positive signals before they make a move. There really is no leader in the courting process. It's a mutual game of serving the ball to each other, like Shakespeare said, "If music be the food of love, play on." The courtship process is like the melody of a song, with both sides contributing equally to make it sound good. Beyond eye contact, simply the act of talking to someone shows interest, and the more personal it gets, the more it shows interest, especially if she talks about what she likes to do or her weekend plans. She wants you to ask her out. The major signals of flirting are as follows: getting physically close to someone, getting into their invisible 18-inch personal space barrier, repetitive glances, genuine smile, straight, direct posture, make breasts or chest more prominent by jutting them out, eyebrow flash, smacking lips, hair primping, coy sexy smile, fondling something like her keys, her two hands together, or fondling her necklace, speaking in a quiet, sexy tone of voice, primping clothing, hands on hips looking at you, caressing or playing with something in the hand, a subtle touch, raising the skirt a bit showing more leg, sliding foot in and out of the shoe, leaning into you when you speak to each other, leaning forward, swaying the hips, a fake stumble to get into their face to look into their eyes, full laugh, a slight nod, the tie stroke for men, eyebrow flash, raising the eyebrows to get a closer look, licking the lips, a woman brushing her hair back with her hand, eyes fluttering, wide open, playing with your hair, talking softly, moving close to someone and standing beside them silently, leaning against wall, thumb hooked in belt loop, subconsciously opening or exposing the genitals, rubbing a straw or pen or something straight and firm with two fingers, licking or eating something that looks like a rod while looking at you seductively, sitting with genital area exposed, looking at you smiling, winking at interesting prospects. Don't be afraid and don't underestimate it if you've got nothing to lose with a chance encounter with an attractive stranger. Practice in the mirror. Acting sleazy and flirting are not one and the same thing. Sleaziness is wearing skimpy clothes and talking sexy to strangers, while flirting is a more tasteful, reserved action that requires finesse and charm. The latest article I read about flirting said that most women flirt with any man they first meet not necessarily because they're attracted to him, but because they want to manipulate him into tipping his hand, so to speak, letting the girl know if he's interested, then she decides later. So the lesson for guys is don't believe it every time a girl flirts with you. She might be fishing for a response or a compliment. Chapter 2. Flirting Guide 2. Flirting 1. Flirting is looking at someone and smiling from the inside. Flirting is the art of communicating without words. I like you, I think you're attractive. Flirting is showing you like someone while keeping a safe distance. Flirting is showing that you're a nice person with something to offer to someone else, like making them feel good about the moment. Never, ever exceed the boundaries of decency. Everybody's allowed to flirt, especially girls, because it's so subtle. It won't damage your image of ladyhood. Almost everybody likes to think they're a flirt because it's a positive sociable trait, to be able to make somebody feel good without taking it to the next notch of sexual interest. A true flirt is a good person having a bit of harmless fun. At the same time, there's a double standard with some women claiming they don't want the extra attention, so the question is, when does flirting cross the line into harassment? Negative signs of unattraction are general fidgeting, roving eye, looking at the door at new entries or a way out, going to the bathroom, arms folded, legs folded, no eye contact, sitting as far away from the person in the chair as possible, and either silence or talking to others. Some women like to be treated as sex objects, whistled at and leered at on the street while others get all bent out of shape. When you flirt, to play it safe, don't say anything sexual and don't let your eyes go to the sexual areas. Don't comment on body parts. You can tell someone they're pretty but don't get any more seductive than that. Don't tell sexually oriented jokes. Don't flirt in the office and don't flirt to advance your career because it might backfire if you cross the line or if the object of your desire wants to get serious and you don't. They say don't get involved with subordinates because it could backfire on you. You're the one with the most to lose. Many people engage in this harmless game as they go through life, usually just for fun and a little attention to flatter their egos. A relative of mine was a cashier, and whenever I went to visit her, she was always flirting with the customers. Waitresses and strippers flirt to get bigger tips. Society's norms make it so that we can pretend it's not happening at the surface level, but underneath in our own minds, most of us have the tools to recognize when it's going on and what it's all about. Flirting is so universal because it's safe. People can engage in this dance or ritual if you will and either leave it at that or proceed on to the next level. There's room for interpretation and uncertainty, so that makes it doubly safe. Someone giving the signal can always act as though they were just acting naturally and there was no intention involved. I don't want to get too deep here except to say that it's real, out there, and we're aware of it whether we talk about it openly or admit it or not. It's a real part of life and you can use those tools in the mating dance to send someone your way or show them you're interested. Flirting too. Flirting is attention without intention. Men and women alike check others out by looking and flirting with them, even if they're hitched and have no intentions of cheating. It's an ego thing. From a practical point of view, when you're looking for a mate or see someone you like, send out the signals, then it's their turn. They can send them back just for ego's sake or if they're really interested. So you do this a few times with positive flow both ways. If you're a man, you should feel reasonably safe when approaching the woman. If I saw a woman I liked at a bank, I'd look at her long enough so that she knew that I was looking at her, then I'd try to get close or walk past and just say hi to see what she said back and with what tone of voice, an inviting one or a neutral one. She might say hi back, then mind her own business or do something to show me she was interested, like strike up a conversation or just wait near the door of the bank when her business was done. These things happen in real life, but you gotta make the first move. Plenty of girls who are strangers will take you up on your flirting efforts provided you're cool and easygoing. If she smiles, go for it. If not, keep moving. It's that simple. There are players who will flirt for their egos, then when you ask them out, act like nothing's going on. She's just using you to build up her ego and then blow you off. They're out there in full force, playing stupid games, leading men on, then turning tail and running, especially the young fluff, testing their newly found sexuality. Men lead girls on for ego's sake too, so I say don't flirt too much with someone who might be seriously interested. It's fine with the waitress you've been seeing for years, but it's not cool to lead someone on then not ask them out. Girls and guys alike build up fantasies in their minds, so don't lead someone on. Keep your poker face. If somebody smiles at you seductively and if you're not interested, don't even smile back. Just nod stoically and look away. Don't play games. Most of us intuitively know when the chemistry's there from the flirt dance. You shouldn't play the game too much unless you're really interested in the person, it's just not fair. You could be leading them on for all you know. Some people would say it's just a harmless form of adult fun, but I don't think it's right. If you're gonna do it, be ready to take risks and be ready for responses because you will get them. Your arena is the entire world. There are people in motion everywhere, many of whom are unattached and willing to take a chance on an interesting stranger just as you're willing to hold yourself out as that interesting stranger. People like the casual approach of flirting because it allows them to continue on with an out if they so decide. If uncertain about a flirting prospect, offer your name, business card, ask for their work number for a casual lunch sometime. If you're on the make, there are hits and misses out there. You go along your merry way, smiling and greet a bunch of people. Some will be nice, others not. That's the way it goes. You have to keep hitting, and if you get a bite, probe further and take it as far as the other person wants. So, there's an element of risk in taking the initiative, that of rejection or the rebuff. But you can take it, you're tough. Don't take it personally, it's just a mismatch. Keep plugging along and you will get those hits. Some girls will think you're a serial killer if you talk to them out of the blue. Forget about them, just keep moving. I asked some girl a question about how to wash clothes in the laundry room of an apartment once. The way she looked at me, I could tell she was probably thinking that I wanted to rape her or rob her or something like that. Big city living makes a lot of girls paranoid. There are lots of nutty people out there that think all strangers want to do bad things to them. If you talk to them, they will freak out and run away, or they might even call the cops about harassment, so don't push it. Say one thing, look for a response, then either stay or leave. Don't keep hassling too hard to get a girl. She's not interested. Get a clue. Not all hits are Romeos or Prince Charmings, but that's part of the game. You pick interesting looking people out of the crowd and grace them with your presence. If a conversation of more than 3 exchanges follows, you exchange names and maybe go out on a date. And don't be too selective about the interesting looking part. Many nice people on the inside may not be so hot on the outside, or may be just humble by nature and wear simple clothing, so don't eliminate too many from your potential dating pool. Perhaps the date might not pan out, but it could start a friendship and increase your chances through this person's friends. Many people are aware enough to know if the chemistry's not there from the outset, so they won't mind introducing you to other eligible suitors should you ask after the date with a phone call, or if you become friends or offer to return the favor. If someone uses the term ex-boyfriend or ex-husband when talking to you, it generally means that they're available. Note that these techniques aren't meant for a canned yes. It's gonna take some work and effort on your part. You're the one out there making it happen, so be assertive and keep going regardless of the funny looks, rejections, whatever. Don't take it personally, just see it as someone else's problem or poor judgment. It's perfectly alright to go out and initiate interaction, you're doing something positive for the world. It's not like you're sacrificing money, your health, or home. It ain't nothing but a few minutes of your time. Keep your inner voice strong and continue to reinforce the sense that flirting is an exciting, worthwhile venture to meet new people and make friends. You will find that many people are flattered when you flirt with them. That someone found them interesting enough to pay attention to them is a good thing for most people who live humdrum, routine lives. A good kind of flirting out in public, such as on a crowded street, is simply to brush or bump someone, get close physically, or face them head on like in a subway. Possibly get some cards made, not business cards but calling cards, something neutral with your name and number on it, and maybe a simple message on it like, "I'd like to meet you, another time, another place," or "Call me, I'm available." Use them anywhere you meet someone interesting. Just hand them out. They know the score and it's up to them to make the next move. Go have supper at a restaurant and send one to a prospect with a complimentary drink and a single rose. Don't prejudge people based on external looks, particularly women, because they can change drastically depending on clothes and makeup. The point is that people come in all shapes and sizes and sometimes do things out of cultural pressures, i.e., to act cool or whatever, but underneath, they're all just vulnerable people who need loving like everyone else and could be the nicest person in the world for you if you give them the chance. So be open to all comers and don't judge until you've talked for a minute or two. Be real, be yourself, be interesting, and show people that you're available and willing to give it a shot. Don't act desperate. Sure, be courteous but not at the expense of spontaneity. A stiff demeanor will turn the prospect off over a more relaxed demeanor where you're not afraid to throw some slang in and be yourself. Tell a joke, smile, and laugh at yourself if you have to. Always practice the joke first though with your friends. Nobody likes to be around people that are too serious about life. So there you have it. Just be easygoing. Act like you don't give a damn about anything except to have a good time. Dress easygoing and carry a Walkman around because it makes you look cool, a lot cooler than carrying a cell phone. It's best to not carry anything techno around. Be a bit more natural and basic. Sexy flirting is looking someone in the eye, smiling, then looking down at their genital area, smacking your lips with your tongue while continuing with that coy smile. Another one is to blow someone a kiss, that is to kiss your index and middle finger together then blow it at them. Signals of extreme attraction / flirting are giddiness and self-massage, kind of rubbing your body parts while you're looking at the object of your affection or talking to them. Flirting 3. When flirting seriously, flirt with someone in your league. Don't waste time with someone too high and mighty above you or too unappealing to you. Don't hunt. Charm the prey. Don't come on too strong. Don't talk about sex or crack dirty jokes. Try to make her feel as comfortable as possible. Don't be a salesperson. Just be yourself at your best. In the modern world, girls are free to flirt as a harmless pastime, but guys could be accused of sexual harassment. Whereas at one time, many guys and girls felt free to say nice things to strangers and acquaintances, nowadays, because the world is so paranoid, cold and evil, people in general don't do it like they used to. A good parallel is with teachers in school. In the old days, they would think nothing of hugging their students or saying nice things to them, but nowadays they have to be vigilant lest someone accuse them of improper conduct. In my opinion, the message out in public these days is to mind your own business and keep your head down. Don't engage in meaningless pleasantries with strangers because they might be interpreted the wrong way, that you are a stalker, an evil person, a phony charmer, etc. Despite this, some people still flirt. Flirting is fine in the right circumstances, done for the right reasons, to either make someone else feel good or to sincerely express interest in them. In fact, flirting is the only way to meet a stranger in most situations. You nod, smile, get close to this person and say a few things which puts the ball in their court. It's up to them whether to ignore you, blow you off, or to bring the intimacy level up a notch. To be a successful flirt, you have to feel attractive, fun, and charismatic, give off the impression that you like people and would appreciate the attention. Kids from large families with extroverted parents usually develop this ability by imitating their father and merely to survive, because when you're surrounded by several siblings and all their friends, you have to learn to be a charmer and a wheeler-dealer just to get by. Some people never develop this ability. I can't explain shyness, introversion, or isolationism, lonerism. Some loners are extremely sociable face-to-face but just prefer to be alone. I know I'm not as sociable as I used to be simply because I'm over the hump. I feel that I've been there, done that for most things I ever wanted to do, and most people are generic duds to me. They bore me. They can't do much for me. I need inspiration, drugs, or sex, otherwise why should I waste my time being superficially sociable just because I feel alone and want a connection with someone? We're alone in our heads. It doesn't bother me. I enjoy my life regardless. Nevertheless, I still know how to flirt and be sociable when I wanna be. It's not that hard. Most people want to talk because their lives are plain, dull, boring, and uninspired anyway, and they're looking for an answer, some interest, attention, some inspiration, an ego stroke, some attraction, or something, anything to make the day go better. It takes a few seconds to grab the other's attention. Women use head movements. They toss their hair, make eye contact, smile, flash those coy looks like you see in all those cheesy television commercials, move in close, look deep into your eyes, and may even touch lightly. The truth is that, despite all the TV and movie stuff you see about guys approaching girls, this generally doesn't work because most girls don't like aggressive guys who approach them out of the blue. And any guy who has ever tried this will get rejected time after time. Then get a clue: don't approach a girl unless she gives you some kind of positive signal first. Girls control who they pick and date. They see someone they like, they give him the signal, then it's up to him. They see someone they don't like, they look away and try to ignore him. Guys are wrongly brainwashed into thinking they have to perform, to come on strong, but this is another big lie perpetuated by Hollywood. If a girl likes you, the worst thing you can do to shoot yourself in the foot is to come on like some extreme case of a master flirter. Just relax. Be nice to her and with her. When the girl is ready for you to move in closer, kiss her, hug her, make love to her, she will let you know by her cues. If you try to speed up the process, you will end up like all those macho losers before you who thought they were being cool when they imitated some suave dude they saw in a movie. The girl will think you're a jerk and leave. Flirting is a very simple game. You are nice, and when your quarry smiles back at you, you simply move it up a subtle notch, then play it nice until you sense she's warming it up again, then you move it up another notch. This is the cool way. You just watch her and play off her cues, but all the dunces think that they have to come on strong because they saw some idiot movie star do it in some stupid movie where it worked, but that's a movie, not the real world. If the girl backs off, you back off too. It may be you or it may not. Most girls don't want to give off the impression that they are too easy because this is not considered ladylike, so even though they might want to hug and kiss you heavily, they will keep it cool to try to convey the message that they are high-quality women, worth it, who only give their love and bodies to high-quality men, so she will draw it out in order to come off like a lady to you and in order to see how patient you are with her as opposed to her vagina. There is a fine line between flirting and cock teasing. A lot of girls are amateurs at this. They try to draw a guy, and then when they've got him, they don't take him to third base or hit the home run, which is why cool girls are good at showing interest but being restrained at the same time. Guys hate this. There are many cases of rape and murder of girls who flirted with a guy sending the signals that they were hot and wanted some hot stuff, but they did it either because they wanted free drinks or to build up their young, fragile egos. Then when it came time to deliver on what they were communicating through their flirting behavior and they didn't, some guys took it anyway, thinking the bitch deserves what she got. Older broads flirt too for the wrong reasons, to try to get attention, to feel that they're still attractive. The moral is don't do any hot flirting unless you intend to back it up with hot behavior, because if you do, you're a manipulator and a coward for not being real. By the same token, if you're in a relationship and there's real love there, who cares who your partner flirts with? Your relationship is stronger than minor flirting. Some people are just naturally nice, are paid to be nice, or are nice because they know it gets them bigger tips. If you walk into any restaurant or bar anywhere and the waiter or waitress are really nice to you, stop before you think they're flirting with you. This person has already served 20 people or so today, they have served several hundred in the past month, so a wise waiter, waitress, or store clerk quickly figures out that the more they flirt with everyone, the more tips and sales they make. I've walked into stores and restaurants where I felt the girls were coming on to me, but then I caught myself, watched them with some other customers, and came to realize that this is the way a lot of service people operate. They flirt with customers in order to increase their bottom line. When some hot, young stripper or waitress is flirting with some ugly, fat guy, she's being real smart. She's obviously not attracted to him. She wants his money. There is a moral question involved in flirting. Don't flirt with someone who is naive unless you plan to take it all the way. Some people flirt with others for fun, they all know it's just fun and let it go at that, but if you lead someone on without taking it to a relationship level, that's cruel and wrong. Flirting 4. Eyes are as bold as ours, roving, running, leaping. They speak all languages. What inundation of life and thought is discharged from one soul to another through them. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Eye contact and smiling are the heart and soul of flirting. Good-natured teasing is a sure sign of interest. The best way to get someone interested in you is to be interested in them. The most common flirting gestures are smiles, eye contact, hair flipping or swiping, jewelry fidgeting, batting your eyes, peekaboo smiles, tie stroking, playing with the belt, winking, the guts to make an approach and meet somebody, good conversation, good listener, compliments, open-ended questions, and the most important, focusing attention on the object of your attention rather than talking about how great and fascinating you are. Charm is the ability to make someone else think that the both of you are special. Flirting is the charming expression of interest without serious intent. Your ability to flirt is the number one determinant that you will get hit on, higher on the scale than beauty, because I've seen plenty of plain-looking girls get guys because they were able to flirt with them, being upfront with their interest and intentions. With a shy guy, if you quietly hang around him whenever he's around, he might get the hint and start to talk to you. Flirting is being playful, frisky, and charming. Don't talk about your problems, act interested in his life. Be warm, not smug. Be obvious enough but don't come on too strong. Smile, don't stare. Mirror his signals back to him. If he's open, be open to him. If he backs off, give him space. If he wants out, let him go. In the olden days, 20 or more years ago, flirting was an expression of harmless fun. Today, if you flirt with the wrong girl, it could get you arrested because she might feel insulted and claim you made lewd remarks to her. If you don't get arrested, a lot of girls will write you off as trying to be a sleazy, cheap rico suavo, so flirting has to be more casual, innocuous, unromantic statements just to see if she's willing to talk to you. The safest way is to wait until she gives you some signal, like smiling at you, walking past you real close with her chest jutting out, or talking to you about any useless thing. Don't forget all the trouble Clarence Thomas got into in 1991 for supposedly talking dirty to his employee Anita Hill. Women generally don't flirt much openly, although they all know how to entice a man with nonverbal cues, which is fine, but the reason they don't openly flirt is because they've been brought up to be silent and wait until the man makes a move. Men actually like sexually assertive women because it takes the pressure off them and they can be sure they will score when making the next move. A lot of people play ambiguous games, often to try to flatter their own egos by leading the other person on, so never assume any flirting gestures mean anything until he asks you for a date or you're in his arms, proclaiming your love for each other. Many young girls and guys are testing out their sexual power by flirting with guys and gals to see if they can hook them, then leave them cold just to satisfy their insecure egos. Signaling/display behaviors are the early signs of flirting. A laugh, smile, eye contact, accidental touch, head toss, hair flip, exposing underarms by running hands through hair, licking the lips or adjusting the skirt are all sure signs of flirting interest. The game for aggressive people is to make a move no matter what. The game for most people, regardless of who's attracted to whom, is that the guy won't make a move unless he gets some kind of signal from the girl, then he moves in and asks her out, so it's generally the girl with the sexual power to choose her mates, provided she's attractive enough to rein potential mates in. Most people like to be the object of flirting as long as it's above board and not too crude, like staring at her privates, even if she's asking for it by wearing a tight top with cleavage hanging out everywhere. People like to be seduced by charm and romance, to show that you appreciate their beauty. Show you're attracted to them as a person, not a sex object, leave them feeling good about themselves. Women hate phony operators with phony come-on lines they've used many times before. She wants to feel that you're singling her out as the special one in the crowd, not another operator trying the same line on 20 different girls. Be real, flatter her enough such that she feels she has the ability to attract a good guy, and you should do all right. Don't flirt with the expectation that it's just flirting and won't lead to anything. If you flirt, do it with the expectation of wanting a date. If a guy flirts heavily with a girl, then she starts to respond back and he backs off, he's a wimp for leading her on. Don't do it. At least go out on one date to see how it goes. A date should be the extension of initial flirting. If you like each other, keep telling each other how much you like them and how great and fantastic you think they are. If you don't like each other as possible lovers, be pleasant but cut it off as soon as possible and leave. If you're a girl anywhere with a male friend interested in other guys, keep looking their way as you sit there. Guys are aware enough to know you could be with your brother, a gay friend, a male friend, or in a relationship you don't really want to be in. Chapter 3. Flirting Guide 3. Conversation/the art of talk. A fool finds no pleasure in understanding but delights in airing his opinions. Proverbs 18:2. Language is primitive telepathy. Terence McKenna. Speaking without thinking is like shooting without aiming. Mutual disclosure, that's the deal, take it as far as they want to go. Speak softly when talking to a potential mate. Silence is a great part of the golden art of good conversation. We live in an aggressive, ego-driven, antagonistic, critical society. Many people don't even bother talking much beyond the mundane communication of information because they can't be bothered with critique or disagreement. Men are supposed to be aggressive and pass women off as trivial diversions, and many do, not taking women seriously. That's probably the biggest folly with the art of talk, not taking the other person seriously. Be civil but assert yourself if the situation demands it. Everybody's so stuck on antagonism that when you come off being gentle and mild-mannered, it catches them all off guard and they have to stop and remember that it's really all about taking it easy and being gentle. Try to see both sides of every story. Cooperate rather than compete. Move from debate to dialogue. You will be a lot happier in the long run. Establish yourself as a safe person through casual conversation. Try to be natural and don't clam up, it gives off the impression that you're hiding something. People aren't mind readers. You have to make that move. People judge you based on conversation. Show a good command of the language. Don't swear. Use some slang but not much. Be calm, it's just talk and talk is cheap. Think before you speak. Try to show your conversation skills by bouncing from topic to topic in a fluid way. It's like you're fishing. You make a few statements, ask a few questions, then when the topic dries up, move on to the next one. Sprinkle a few low-key compliments in. If you don't agree with something, you can voice your opinion, but why bother? It's better to be friendly than to be right. If you're a strong person, you don't need the ego assurance of always being right no matter what. Conversation is usually about you or the other guy, which is fine. When I'm out on the street, I will talk about anything to anybody. Some people say avoid taboo topics like death, sex, drugs, politics, religion, etc. But I've found that some people like to talk about such things, particularly politics, and particularly if they hate someone in office. Politics is like entertainment, it's all over TV and radio and just about everybody has an opinion. Don't say anything negative because in the end, it's all talk and talk is cheap. Don't talk about yourself too much, don't bullshit too much, don't complain, don't finish another's sentence, don't shift your gaze around from the person talking, don't contradict, don't steal another's story, don't tell secrets, don't snoop, don't repeat the same story, don't correct someone who has mispronounced something, don't get too personal and don't talk too much. Avoid controversial topics like sex or violence right off. Don't ever tell any dirty jokes. It sends out the message that you're a lowlife. Would someone dignified ever tell a dirty joke? No, because they have inherent dignity within themselves. Be modest, fun, sincere, and natural. Show interest in him and don't fidget. Listen, maintain eye contact, nod occasionally, ask questions but don't interrogate. Keep it fun and lively. Be modest. Shine but don't show off. Smile. If you're not adept at conversation, try to practice with anyone. I personally don't think there's much to it, you just talk. If the person responds, continue. If not, don't force it too much, too phony. I find most people will talk to you superficially because they like conversation too and they're decent people. There are talkers among us. Just get started with a few dumb questions and go from there. People advertise themselves. Ask about a ring, an unusual hat, a pin, a news story, the weather, anything. Keep your voice tone calm and gentle, think about that when you talk, that's what all the professionals do. Even practice developing a nice voice by reading a book about it and then listen to yourself talking into a cassette recorder. While talking, make it a point to pause momentarily during the conversation to let the other person initiate to see what their intentions are. Never talk sex casually to a person you've just met recently. It's not that it's scary, it's just undignified. For instance, telling a guy that he's got a fine butt is not really a good start to potential long-term relationship. It's fine to start off talking about general things like sports and weather, then you can move on to things like your work and common interests. Tell stories and ask open-ended questions that force the other to respond with an explanation rather than a simple affirmation or negative. Don't cut somebody off and play the know-it-all. Don't talk about yourself too much. Spread it out to the other person and general things. Be interesting and interested in the other person and say their name several times as you speak. Refer back to something they said earlier to show that you, in fact, are listening. If you're a single parent, don't talk about kids unless the other initiates it. Many men run at the thought of a prospect with ready-made kids. Don't talk too much about past loves or personal problems with life and other people. And don't get too personal in questions to the other person. The whole key to penetrating someone's soul is to make them feel comfortable with you. When they're emotionally ready, they will tell you their deepest secrets. Don't act too deep, clever, or witty. Just be pleasant, talk about anything and communicate by your conversation that you're making a conscious attempt to carry the spirit of it on. An easy bonus is to talk nicely about someone or something you know about or somebody you both know mutually. Above all, don't hold yourself as a patronizing expert in anything and don't criticize no matter what. There's enough negativity in the world without you giving out unsolicited advice. Whenever in an awkward situation, try to turn it around with a witty quip and laugh at yourself. If it doesn't work, simply chuckle. It will ease some tension and others might think you're at least humble enough not to take yourself too seriously. While on the subject of conversation, check your own out, particularly your voice. Secretly tape yourself while talking to friends and analyze it. A book on voice training or a little bit of awareness will do wonders for your presentation. Don't interrupt others when they speak. If you see a stranger somewhere and say something nice to them or they to you, don't take off immediately. Pause for a moment, see if they will talk further or give them another chance by saying something, anything to keep them there. If you like somebody and they're blowing smoke in your face as you talk, resist the urge to say something stupid. If it was meant to be, give it time. You can discuss the smoking bit later when you're more comfy with each other. Don't go off blowing steam about how much money you make, how great your sports car is and how big your house is. And don't go off talking about your medical problems like a hypochondriac. Don't get too close both personally and physically during your conversation. For instance, if it's a first date and you're at a restaurant, don't try the cutesy TV move of taking food off your date's plate and then feeding him/her with it. It's just a little too tacky and close for new relationships. Maybe if you were married it'd be a different story, but for now, And never forget the most important rule, anyone can have engaging conversation, but that's all it is. Talk is cheap until somebody makes a move to show personal interest beyond the circumstances given. But it takes risk, so you gotta play that 50/50 game of possible rejection. It's better than 100% rejection of not trying to make that move. If it's a girl, she will usually give the signals loud and clear unless she's a tease, in which case can it right there and get away before she toys with you more and screws you up. You gotta accept the fact that you're gonna get rejected. It's pretty well a fact of the dating game. If you're a little scared that this person might be already attached, try to weed them out during the conversation. What do they do for fun? Do they watch kiddie TV shows? Where did they go on vacation, etc.? Be on the lookout for slips of the tongue like the use of we in a statement. It may be that this person is trying to cheat, so you might try getting right to the point by asking whether the spouse plays golf or whatever, or ask something like how old are your kids to see if they've got any. Ask a woman about car maintenance to see if she answers something like that her husband takes care of those things. It may be a cat and mouse game if the other person is a cheater and leading you on that they're single, in which case, I'd say don't bother unless you're looking for a quickie, but that's morally wrong according to our Christian God. You can always make somebody's day by acting confused and asking questions about whatever the person you're talking to is working at or where they're at. You ask somebody at the supermarket for advice about food, somebody in the hardware department for assistance with a new doorknob, somebody at the theater about the movies, and so on and so forth. Superficial conversation topics are current movie or concert, weather, sports team or event, latest news, latest court case, war, political unrest in Russia/Middle East, the current state of this screwed up world, music, politics, new styles, anything for the sake of talking, food, your favorite radio talk show host, favorite place to travel, favorite place to live, greatest adventure so far, greatest fantasy adventure, favorite year or time of life, worst enemy right now, most hated so-called celebrity, favorite hobby. Some conversation questions are: what's going on? What's up? What's happening? Where do you live? Do you like fish or chicken? What do you like to do? Who's your favorite person from history? Did you like school? Who was your favorite teacher? Subject: where would you like to visit? Live: would you like a tattoo? What? Where? What do you value most in friendship? What did you like about high school? What did you want to be when you grew up when you were a child? Who was the most important person in your life? What is the funniest thing you ever saw? Favorite holiday? What's the toughest thing you ever did? Most daring? Most dangerous? If you won $1 million, what would you do? What do you hate most? If there was a fire and you could save one thing, what would it be? What do you think is the biggest scientific innovation for the future? What do you want to accomplish in life? What do you want your epitaph to read? Who are your best friends? Memorize jokes and good stories like from Reader's Digest or Omni magazine. Practice them first with friends. Some conversation no NOSR. Don't ask what they do for a living. They will offer in due time. Extreme religion, ethnicity, race, your ability to support yourself, talking dirty, childish, astrology, psychics, phobias, money, bitterness, anger, pride, ego, gossip, slang, too much, archaic sayings like groovy, daddy-o, mutual respect for each other. There are religious people, shy people, academic people, nerds, and people who put on facades for themselves about how high, moral, upstanding, logical, kind and respectful they are. This is all well and good, and when you meet someone, you must certainly be respectful, but if you box yourself into an altruistic, generous, academic, religious image, where does that leave you when it comes time to make a move for the expression of your love/lust known as sex? If you're too much of a gentleman, girls turn off. Nature endowed girls with a sexual need just like it endowed men with it in order to ensure a replication of the species. If only men had a sexual need and girls didn't, men would have to go around raping women, but nature made sure they like it too, so that they will chase after guys to get some. I know a guy about my age who went out with a girl for 3 months and told me he didn't get to first base with her. I thought that the reason he didn't is because he's so insecure and passive. She got tired of him and left. He's not a bad-looking guy, with a steady job and good morals, but it's hard for him to make a move even when on the 3rd or 4th date. He gets that far with girls but can't seem to move on to sex. My advice is that when you meet someone for the first time, don't come off too serious, too righteous, too religious, etc. Make it known that you're a normal guy who does normal things, because part of that is the craving for sex. You don't have to go to the opposite extreme and act like a macho clown, but give her what she wants. If the action is heating up and she's smiling at you, keep going as far as she wants to go. Don't come off like a bookworm or nerd who is above sex, because you're not. You're just a human animal like me. Chapter 4. When flirting is sexual, they call it inappropriate. Flirting and sexual harassment. Flirting is fine if you find someone who likes to play along, but it may be just for the sake of socializing, as some people like to talk to other people even if they don't know them much, just for the sake of talking, and it also could be an ego thing. If somebody gives you or anybody else an ego stroke, it's amazing how many people are suckers for a compliment. Give the right person a few compliments and they will immediately like you and want to talk in order to get more compliments to boost them up a bit. Flirting could be nothing. Some people do it by nature to keep them from getting nervous or taking control of a situation. Good salespeople and real estate agents are natural flirts. It's part of the business to butter a client up. The golden rule is don't read anything into flirting unless you're really sure they like you and it's not just a part of their job. Every waiter/waitress and every stripper who work at a place where lots of tips are given are master flirters. They flirt with everyone because they want big tips, not necessarily because they think you're special, although if they're good, they can make you think that they think you're special. Watch any good stripper. She's befriending 10 guys a night, trying to make them all think that she has a special relationship with them. If taken too far, flirting can get you in trouble. At work, you can be charged with a sexual harassment complaint. On the street, you could be charged with lewd and lascivious behavior or even sexual assault. Everybody intuitively knows the basic ground rules of polite society. Follow them. You can talk to anyone you want about anything. Just don't talk about sex or crude things. Keep it nice and G-rated. If the person likes you, they will let you know simply by continuing to talk to you. If they respond to every statement you make, that's conversation. They probably want to talk to you. If you can keep a conversation going with a total stranger for 2 to 3 minutes for no reason other than to socialize, that should be enough rapport to ask for a date without getting hit over the head. After all, they are complicit in the act by choosing to talk to you, but remember that some people just talk for the sake of talking. I'm like this sometimes. I talk to total strangers sometimes who want to talk. It fulfills some need we have to connect to others here and there just for the simple reason of sharing our loner realities in our heads for a while. If in doubt, don't flirt. The better looking you are, the more likely that people will like to flirt with you. There was the case of one woman who filed a sexual harassment suit against a guy. During the trial, it came out that she routinely flirted with the good-looking guys on staff and made sexually explicit comments on PAR with them. The guy she filed the suit on was a middle-aged, chubby, ugly guy. She lost the case because her sexual harassment charge was selective. She picked one guy that she targeted when the truth was that she engaged in the same conduct with several other guys. msnbc.msn.com/id/11258390, not crossing the harassment line. overlawyer.com/fear_of_flirting. Taking flirting too far. Don't lead anyone on, pretending you're serious when you're not. Don't do anything you wouldn't do in front of your spouse. If you flirt with a married person, know that it could lead to them cheating on their spouse. Are you ready to be part of that? Chapter 5. Flirting websites 1. TheRomantic.com could be the biggest romance website ever. TheRomantic.com is a massive website. Some of the articles are flimsy, but they cover everything. Archive.org. Then romanticatheart.com/links, lots of links from 2012. Somebody went through a lot of effort to categorize website links for many romance categories, then the website went dead. There's a lot of stuff there. Circe.org/public/flirt2.pdf. pamf.org/teen/abc/sex/flirting.html. Many love, sex, and romance articles at liveabout.com. These are the main categories, each with a small ebook of articles. liveabout.com/love-and-romance-4145433. liveabout.com/relationships-4145432. liveabout.com/sexuality-4145431. liveabout.com/friendship-4145427. liveabout.com/love-and-romance-4145433, a big, free website. Many articles. liveabout.com/relationships-4145432, relationship articles. Many articles. Flirting websites at dmoz-odp.org/society/relationship/flirting. Links to love.com/teens_flirting.htm. Body language websites. webmd.com/sex-relationships/features/body-language-basics. acmelove.com/flirting/body-language-secrets. adulthoodwonderful.com/flirting/body_language. bigbrothersadvice.com/bodylanguage.html. bodylanguageromance.com. bodylanguagetraining.com/flirtingquest.html. charmedhearts.com/flirting_body_languages_.htm. datingheaven.net/articles/tips/body_language.htm. datinginteractive.com/body_language_flirting. dating-review.co.uk/flirting_body_language.htm. datingclass.com/seduction/body-language-flirting. flirting.ws/body-language-flirting.htm. hellodarling.net/interesting/body-language-flirting. How to use bodylanguage.com. learnbodylanguage.org. Links to love.com/body_language_2.htm. match-couples.com/the-basics-of-using-body-language. nonverbals.com/flirt.htm. online dating articles.com/flirtingbody.htm. peasinternational.com/for/body-language-flirting. romantic-ideas-for-life.com/flirting-body-language. thetatepro.com/2/flirting-body-language.html. Chapter 5. Flirting websites 2. Flirting websites 1. Flirt stands for Find Love in Real Time according to the authors of the magazine Flirt.com. Links to love.com/teens_flirting.htm. liveabout.com/search?*q=flirting. 123greetings.com/love/flirting, flirting e-cards. acmelove.com/flirting. advice-diva.com/add/download/how-to-pick-up-men/flirting.asp. anythingromantic.com/relationships/flirting. artofapproaching.com/flirting. bachelortours.blogspot.com/2005/09/art-of-flirting. bbc.co.uk/relationships/singles_and_dating/techniques_flirting.shtml. bbc.co.uk/science/hot topics/love/flirting.shtm. conversationstarters.com. crush.com/flirting/index.htm. coupleLove.com/article/flirting. Flirting websites 2. datingmatchmakers.com/flirt-article/how-to-flirt. dcdancersvibe.com/dating/flirting01.htm. ehow.com/how_15903_flirt.html. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/flirting. enjoyyourdate.com/flirting.html. easyarticles.com, detect flirting signals of attraction. fastdate.com.au/dating/art_of_flirting.htm. findarticles.com/p/article/me_m1077/is_11036136135, the joys and dangers of flirting. finddatingpartners.com/flirting.html. flirt.com/advice. flirt.talk121.com/flirtchat.asp. flirtdirt.com. flirting.com. flirting.everydaysurfing.com. flirting.net.au. flirtingclass.com. flirtingzecret.com. flirtingtime.com. flirts.com. flirtzone.com. howtoflirt.biz. Flirting websites 3. how-to-guys.com/romantic/flirt.htm. insideaguysmind.com, flirting with guys. kingofattraction.com/women-flirting-signals. flirtbodylanguage.com. lhj.com/home/flirting.html. lifetimetv.com/real-life/relation/quiz/flirt.html. links to love.com/dating_flirting2.htm. links to love.com/teens_flirting.htm. loveadvice.com/articles/flirting.htm. flirting websites 4. miss-etiquette.com/etiquette_advice.html. myjellybean.com/flirt/flirt.html. quotationsbook.com/subjects/479/flirting. relationshipgold.com/affairs/flirting.htm. romantic-lyrics.com/flirting.shtml. schooloflirting.com. secrets-of-flirting.com. sinsofattraction.com. circe.org/public/flirt.html. technoworthy.com/tag/flirting. tinadevakianline.org/dating/flirting.html. thirdage.com/romance/dating/flirting.